everyone. To be honest, I had the hardest time pressing record right now. But life is life and reality is reality, and I think it was really important to share this video, record it and share it, even though this is one that I didn't really plan or even think about. So if this is your first time being here or seeing one of my videos, thank you for being here. If you're returning, thank you for returning. A couple disclaimers that I always say at the beginning. I only speak for myself. I don't speak for other victims or survivors. I don't speak for their family or friends. I only speak for myself and from my experiences, and whether that be firsthand as a survivor or in helping other victims and survivors, research I've done. So as always, I implore you to do your own research. And then please like, subscribe, share, comment. So liking tells people that these videos have some value to you, or you think they might have some value to somebody else. Subscribing will give you updates as I post videos, and will also help with the algorithm for other people who might be searching for this kind of content. Sharing obviously gets the videos into the hands, ears, eyes of someone who might need them. And then commenting, I do try to respond. If you have questions or things you'd like to see or suggestions or anything like that, just comment. So this video is different. I was talking to a friend, one of my best friends the other day, and I said one of the most painful things is the survivor's guilt of being a survivor and wondering constantly why I got the chance to survive and so many others didn't. And why, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with the chance that I have at life, and then just so much confusion because you want to be grateful, but then you feel so selfish being grateful, and then you feel so selfish saying you shouldn't be grateful. I think it's really confusing. Someone's upstairs apparently. It's a really, really hard thing. So one of the things that I told my best friend is I said, what's really, really difficult is when I get told, you're so strong. How are you so strong? How do you just keep going through everything you've been through over and over and over again, and it seems to never get better? Now, that's kind of true, I guess. I mean, I focus on as much joy as I can, and I look for the 10 minutes of joy to balance out the 10 hours of torture, but at least it's that 10 minutes of joy, and there are people who will never get to experience any. And so I guess I just focus on that. It sounds like toxic positivity, but if it gets me through my day, then I guess. But I think in a lot of my videos, maybe all of them, I don't know, I seem very strong, and I am. But I get hit a lot with this kind of very overwhelming, sad emotion. And I talked about the stages of grief in another video. I've talked about being triggered. And those have their own place. I think what I'm feeling now is something that might be one of the most painful things about this process for me. And I think it's important to share it because I will say that there is so much pain in being a victim of domestic violence, intimate partner violence, and other forms of abuse. you know, you have this individual, or maybe it's a group of individuals, that they're supposed to love you, and they say they do, and you believe them. And if you're a person like me that is empathetic to a fault and infinitely patient and believes that people can heal and be better, then it gets taken advantage of repeatedly by so many. And you know, there have been times where I said, God, I wish so much I could be just a bad person sometimes, because life would seemingly be so much easier. But I can't. And I don't know how. I can't do it. I can't take from others. I can't hurt others. Like, I can't do it. And it puts me in a position of constantly being taken advantage of, because I want to believe that people are good and they mean well, and then sometimes I'm proven right, I guess, and then other times, majority of the times, I'm proven wrong. But people just take advantage, take what they want, and move on, you know, to the next person who's going to give them more of what they want. And it's hard. And there's a lot of pain in that environment, in that situation. And there's so much pain, I'm sure, for people who lose their loved ones. The person who may have lost their life in a situation where they weren't able to get out. And there's a lot of pain in survival. There's a lot of pain. And it's still worth it. I want to make that really clear. It's still very worth it to survive. But the pain is very real, and I think that it's really important to show that side too. I almost apologized for crying. I just developed that habit. So, when it comes to me, I've always been kind of emotionally stoic. You know, I obviously feel very deeply, but I'm really not one to outwardly show it. You know, it's not that I'm embarrassed of it, I guess. I mean, I'm posting this on YouTube, right? I guess I just never really quite understood the value of showing intense emotion like that. I do with people I trust, and I don't know, maybe that's a trauma response, because I've experienced so much trauma in my life and over the past, 10, 15 years. I've always just been very stoic, and so when, I used to watch movies. I stopped watching TV like 20 years ago, but I used to watch movies, and I would watch them with my family, and I always found it so perplexing when people would cry at movies or shows, and my mom, man, she has no problem sharing her emotions, and I find that wonderful about her, but sometimes I'm like, whoa, why are you crying? What are you doing? And I'm starting to get it, because what I'm finding is I have these situations where I'm triggered, by some sort of event or smell or sound or specific date. But then I have these times where I'm just like watching a show or a movie, and it could be something so benign, something so simple, and it hits me so hard. And this is one of those things that I really wasn't expecting to experience in my life ever. And it still kind of catches me off guard when it happens, but that's why I'm sharing it, because it does kind of catch me off guard, and I imagine that others will experience the same thing. So I learned today, I guess a few weeks ago, my computer was acting up, my Mac, and I was like, man, what is going on? And it was like, your hard drive is full. And I was like, what? Like, I got the cloud, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, no, my hard drive. And I was like, my hard drive? Just like, on my computer, I put everything on external hard drives. Like, that thing's on my computer. I do that intentionally so my computers last forever. And I learned that every picture, every media file sent to me via message, text message, iMessage, had been saved to my hard drive. And I was like, it was like a lot, like almost 19 gigs of files, because it's literally saved everything that has been sent to me, or I've sent, I think it's what I've sent, yeah, for like 4 years. And I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of data, that's a lot of information. So I finally got some free time today, and I was like, I'm gonna go through it, and I'm just gonna start clearing things out. And there were so many beautiful parts about it. Pictures, videos of family, my children, friends, events, my pets that I've had for a while growing up, pets that I had that passed away. And it was really, really neat to experience those memories again. But with those memories came memories, things that happened from over 2 years ago when I was still in that environment. And I'm one of those people that I can literally separate myself from myself and look at things very, very objectively. It's how I've been able to do a lot of what I've been able to do, is because I can remove the emotion from myself. I don't know if this is healthy. Psychologists out there might be like, that's really unhealthy, over compartmentalization. But survival doesn't always look the way you think it should look. And there were pictures and videos, screenshots, documents that very overwhelming. But I just put my head down and I just clicked away, saved what I needed to save, deleted what I didn't, and moved on. And then I was sitting down on the couch watching a show, stupid teeny bopper show on Netflix, and it's called My Life with the Walter Boys or something like that. I don't know. My kids like it, and I actually kind of like it too. It's just mindless television, and the acting's actually fairly good. And I always joke around, and I'm always like, see, if everyone was just single, none of this would happen, right? Everyone could be friends, everyone could get along, if everyone was just single. Joke. And I found myself becoming really emotional, and I was just trying to choke it back, because I didn't want my kids to see me cry. They get really worried. And I do cry in front of them, but I try not to worry them unnecessarily. And then after the show was over and it was time for them to go to bed, I went to the bathroom and I started to cry. And I asked myself, why are you crying? And I realized one of the most painful things I experience is grieving lost time. And that sounds so strange and so philosophical. And I am kind of a highly philosophical person. But the grief of lost time is something that I experience a lot of. So if we look at my age right now, I am not even 36. My 36th birthday is coming up, which will be the 2-year anniversary of the final event where I was almost murdered, and I got to survive, and I got to restart my life as a survivor. My kids got out, and they're survivors. But I was there. We were there for 10 years, over 10 years. And when you think about that, that means that I was only a legal adult for 7 years before it all started. And 3 of those years, I was in college. So that means 4 of those years I was, not in a way. And as I'm watching this show, it's a good show. You watch it, but as I'm watching this show, there's a lot of themes that are very similar to my life. The mother is a veterinarian. She wins a big award, and I actually was pre-med, but wasn't able to get my go on in the medical world because of my knee. My knee was damaged, just with a bad growth development issue and damage doing sports. So I thought I was going to go to college on a full ride scholarship for playing volleyball, and then that was cut short. I didn't get to play my senior year because my knee was destroyed and I couldn't play anymore. I started having surgeries at 15, 16 years old. So I had to pivot and change everything about my existence. That's actually the plot of the second oldest brother in this show. There's just a lot of similarities. And as I'm watching this, I'm like, man, how much time I've lost. 10 years in an abusive relationship, and then almost 2 years outside of that abusive relationship, still being abused in the system, still losing time with my children, still losing time enjoying my existence, maybe going back to school and finally getting my doctorate, which I don't have time for and I can't afford anyway because I've been basically run bankrupt trying to protect my children and restarting our lives. And I go back, and this is one of those things that you can't really plan for because I don't think you know it's going to happen until you experience it or someone tells you, like I'm telling you. But for me, when I see things, there is this pain of lost time. When I see the PhD program that I had to leave twice because the first time I tried, I was recovering from meningitis and I just couldn't do it, and I didn't have the support. I had to go back and start working again because the person who was supposed to be supporting me was instead cared more about the money I was making and how he could use it than supporting me and getting my doctorate that I always wanted to get. The second time I went back, I started, and then COVID hit, and I realized that I was going to be isolated in a house for God knows how long, with an individual who was an extreme alcoholic, very abusive, and I was going to be stuck in a house, running around trying to defuse the bombs and keep him from exploding all the time. And I was literally like, some of the worst times of my life were those times, and so I knew I wouldn't be able to get my doctorate. So I look at these pictures and I look at these documents and I see them, and I'm like, oh yeah, remember the time when I was getting my doctorate and I had to quit. Remember the time when I went to the hospital and nobody could tell me what was wrong with me because my blood work was so messed up and nobody could understand why. Remember the time when I did this EKG on my watch and it came back with atrial fibrillation. It wasn't the only time that happened because I was under so much stress that at the age of, I think it was 2019, so I would have been 31, I was having atrial fibrillation from just the incredible amount of stress I was under. Remember all of the things that I experienced that I probably wouldn't have experienced if it weren't for this individual literally intentionally destroying every fiber of my being for his personal gain. And that pain is a pain that I don't think I'll ever be able to put into words. And when you look at it logically, time is not linear. We experience time as linear, but it's not linear, right? It's not. Nothing is really truly linear. But I look back and I remember all these times, and I'm never gonna get those back. And then I see pictures of my beautiful children, and the thing is that I was always present for them, as much as like the legal system and the attorneys try to make me out to be this terrible mother, because that's what will line their pockets with cash. That's what's gonna get them to win the case. That's what's gonna draw this out even longer, so that they can get more billable hours. As much as they try to do this to me, as much as they do this to others, I know the truth. My children know the truth. I am incredibly close with them. I always have been. I am very involved in their lives from a very positive perspective, and I always have been. And so I look back on these pictures, and I know all of these pictures, I know all of these videos, and we're not talking just a couple. We're talking hundreds, thousands of photos over their lifetimes. But I look back and I look and I go, I remember that time that he built a Matchbox Hot Wheels car out of a car garage out of Jenga blocks. Remember that time that our abuser said I couldn't get a cat with hair, so if I could get a cat that didn't shed, then that little boy could have a cat that would make him happy. And I said, all right. And I got a hairless cat that I still have today that he loves immensely, that makes him incredibly happy. Remember that time when my daughter did a gymnastics competition, or the time we went to the playground and she was doing the splits on the playground step things, and she was doing scorpion because she wanted to be in cheer so bad. And I look back on these times and I remember them so fondly. And it hits me all the lost time that I could have had with them, because I spent that time trying to appease someone who was not able to be appeased, someone where it would never be enough, or would always be demanded, that I would never be enough, that it would never be worth not drinking, it would never be worth not taking, it would never be worth supporting me to be happy. And I'm reminded that my children will never be one again, will never be two again, will never be three again, will never be six again. They'll never have that 7th birthday again. And everything in between, times that we could have had, things I could have done for them, with that money that was taken to buy him things, to pay for his drinking, to pay for his dream, that I still pay today. I'm going to lose our dream house that I had bought because I don't make the money to pay the mortgage, because every month I pay abuser support instead. And so I am the one who has to have that conversation with my children. That's gonna be gone, but it's okay because it's just a house. And I think I might have to wrap up this video because it hurts a lot. And I am okay. I'll be okay, because I survived for a reason, and I'm not done. I'm not done raising awareness. I am not done working to save others. I am not done protecting my children. I am not done. Because I deserve to live. I deserve to be here. I earned it. And I'm worth it. But it hurts. So I am okay. You know, I know people are probably freaked out because I'm crying so much. A lot of people will see me cry. But this is the reality, you know? And for anybody who's in the situation right now, it's still worth it. I would never go back. I would never go back. You literally could never make me go back. Ever. And no matter how much it hurts, I wish I would have just gone out sooner. So if you're in it now, just know it's worth it to leave. And there are people out there, organizations out there that will help. Comment, direct message me if that's how you can do it via YouTube, I don't know. And I'll try to help. And if you're watching this and you don't know what it's like, I'm happy that you don't, right? But just know that I am not the only one experiencing this. This is so common. Look it up. That's why I have a YouTube channel. Like, look up the research. But that pain is probably one of the worst pains I experience. The pain of lost time that I'm never gonna get back. The pain of lost futures that I'm never gonna be able to have. I'm never gonna experience. The pain of lost freedom. The pain of lost dreams. They're gone. And they're never coming back. I'm never gonna get them back. And hopefully, I live long enough to have new dreams and accomplish those. But I lost 10 years on my clock trying to make someone happy. Not realizing that I would never succeed. I would always fail. Because that is an unwinnable game. So, I wish I could have given more in this video, but I have to care for me, and I can't. This time, I can't give more. And that's gonna have to be okay. So, if you're watching, be kind. If you're in it, try to get out. If you know someone in it, try to help. If you don't know, that's okay. Just raise the awareness. Because there are people who are, and they're struggling, and they need your help. They need our help. And no matter where you are, stay focused on the present moment and just realize that time once lost cannot be regained. So make every moment count, because you just never know when you might lose that time. Thanks for watching. Just like, share, subscribe if you are so inclined. Let's save some lives together.